game night on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Get set for spring with great Easter deals on big brands at Screwfix. Like the DeWalt 18-volt XR brushless impact driver bare unit, now only $54.99. And the Titan 140-bar pressure washer was $99.99, now only $79.99. That's a saving of £20. Don't miss out. These Easter deals must end on the 21st of April. Shop the Screwfix app, online or in store. Subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
The season is shaping up, and whether they're going for glory or going down, it's all to play for. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out Goals! With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals! And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals! Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
There's not many things as epic as jumping over a volcano in a monster truck or even swinging over a crocodile-infested river. But 50% off when you spend £15 at Mackey's comes pretty close. Deal drop. Redeem all week only in the app. 18 plus app only. One-time use per week until the 20th of April. Minimum spend and discount applied to food and drink items only. Participating restaurants, T's and C's apply.
You could skydive out of a plane. Or swim with sharks. You might even skinny dip in icy cold waters. Or you could get that inexpressible high, that guaranteed rush from finding just the thing you wanted, the thing you needed, at a great sale price. IKEA sale now on. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
At Betfair, we believe that to play different, you need the right tools. The boots, the world-class tactics, the science-backed nutrition. The pros have their tools, and with Betfair, so do you. Our safer gambling tools work just like the right pair of boots, designed to keep you on top of your game. Open the Betfair app to equip yourself so you can bet at your best. Betfair. Play different.
18 plus begambleaware.org.
Monday game night on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now. Like Bournemouth versus Fulham live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Exclusive commentary of massive Monday night games.
And it's got in! Would you believe it?
The biggest and best football on the radio. Game night on TalkSport.
Been some really good football. Some really bright, sharp, one touch, round the corners, good movement from Fulham.
Game by game you are seeing the team and getting better.
Just a minute gone in the second half and Fulham lead. And a lovely dink finish from Rodrigo Muniz.
I've got to say, there's a very, very good chance Fulham will have European football this season.
Fulham go marching on. They're up into 8.
Fulham are in a very, very good place. And Marcus Silva's doing an excellent job. Probably a little bit understated, yes.
My goodness, Liverpool took the lead. Fulham have now hit back with not 1, not 2, but 3 goals. It's Fulham 3, Liverpool 1.
Keep making the fans proud of ourselves, and if you go in this direction, we are going to get the club in better position always, and to make the club to grow.
Well, the Bournemouth legend Steve Cook is back at the Vitality to watch this one tonight. His old club take on Fulham. It's live and exclusive on Game Night on TalkSport, and kick-off is less than 10 minutes away. Before we came on air at 7 tonight, Troy Deeney bounced down the steps, had a big hug with Marco Silva, who then slapped you in the chops. It was amazing, but there's a real love between you two, isn't there?
Yeah, he said I'm fitter now than I was at Watford, which was a compliment and an insult, I think, at the same time.
Tell us a bit about him. What's he like as a manager, day to day?
Relentless, kind of heartless at times. Doesn't care unless we win. But for me, it was great in my development at trying to reshape and get me to think of the game. I was successful at the time in terms of being in the Premier League, captain, all of those fun things. But he said, right, there's another level we want to go to. And we obviously brought in Richarlison, we brought in Andre Gray, and he wanted to really see if I could go to that next level. And to start with, I didn't play for a large period of time. He said, I'm not his type of player, but prove me wrong. And thankfully we ended up doing that, and our relationship now is just built on respect. He's obviously left, went to Everton, we still kept in contact, and at Fulham the same. So wonderful human being, and for me, a top manager.
Yeah, what I will say is he was genuinely pleased to see you, wasn't he? I mean, people on the outside don't really know. Does he get on with Troy? Did he get on with him? He was genuinely pleased to see you.
Oh yeah, well, I'm glad you can say it, because I think people just think I make lies up about knowing these people, but
no, that's Ian Abrams.
No, they,
How do you make Tom Brady?
I call him Tom now.
Well, listen, he's got a chance of doing something special with Fulham this season, getting them into Europe, and we will see. They're 7 points off the top 5, 6 points off 6th place. I mean, there's a chance that they might do it. I think one of the key men this season was meant to be Emile Smith-Rowe. He's on the bench tonight, played 28, goals 5, assists 2. Not really been good enough, has it?
No, but I do think, considering he played a few games for Arsenal, I think the season he left he played 45 games. He never started consistently, and I was a huge believer of this. Being this is going to sound disrespectful, I really don't mean, being a bit part player at a big team, and then coming into a team and being the main man that teams are focusing on you in their build-up. They're trying to stop you, and your team are looking at you going, come on then, what are we going to do? I think this is a massive learning season for him. I know under Marco and Gonzalo, the fitness coach, he won't be, even though he's been at Arsenal, he will not be asked to do as much fitness work as he would with these guys. I guarantee you on that.
Really?
I guarantee you on that.
Wow.
Gonzo is a lovely guy, but he's kind of mental, I'll be honest with you. And then with Marco, he'll give you the rope to come on, show me, but he'll pull you out. He's got no problem with that. You're seeing that now in the other way with Ryan Sessegnon. He's giving him the rope now, because at the start he wasn't putting him in. Now he's proved he can. He's in, and he's in to stay. So this will be a big year for Emile Smith-Rowe. He'll be more tired now than he ever has in his career, mentally and physically. Hopefully he has a good break, a wonderful pre-season under this manager, and he'll kick on next year. I have no doubt about it.
And he can look at Ryan Sessegnon and think, well, he was out, he got in. A £25 million player as a teenager, he's got to get back to that. He's 24, there's still time.
Oh, absolutely. But this is just, everyone's journey is different in this game. We love it as a game. The reason we love it as players is because 1 minute you're up, the football gods bring you back down, and when you think, oh, there's no way I can do this anymore, the football gods give you a little bit of a lifeline, and you just see it just changes so quickly. We talk about Muniz earlier. He scores goals per minute up there with Salah and all of this. Doesn't start many games, but when he does start and he's in, he stays in and he scores. So it's a wonderful game that we have here, and I'm expecting a massive game of football tonight. I'm really excited for this one.
Could be terrific. We've had the fireworks just flying into the darkening night sky above the Vitality here on the south coast. Well, who wants to go on a European tour next season? I personally think there should be a European place for the winners of the EFL trophy, but instead it'll be another Premier League club, and it could even be one of these, could be both of them. Bournemouth against Fulham, live and exclusive on TalkSport with former Premier League captain Troy Deeney alongside Sam Matter
and us.
And Andy Murray with his head in.
Their hopes of joining the Masters and compete in Europe next season, then they know how important it is to sink this one.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it, bowl it, pass it, putt it, pot it, or catch it.
Catch it. You'll find it right here on
TalkSport 2. The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it 2?
TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
TalkSport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf for an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping them now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. TalkSport 2.
Well, that's what ball, and he's bowled him. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Hard tackling live. Super League action.
Strong and hard and
holidays, and did you see all those Labour MPs all posting pictures going back to London to save British Steel and all that? You know, several of them by aeroplanes, by the way.
As you can hear from the crowd screaming for a foul on Idrissa Gueye, just on the Fulham edge of the Fulham box.
Union officials say they're hopeful materials needed to keep the blast furnaces burning will be delivered in the next 48 hours.
continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping them now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. TalkSport 2.
Well, that's what ball, and he's bowled him. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Hard tackling live. Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. TalkSport 2.
Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it,
bowl it,
pass it,
putt it, pot it, or catch it. You'll find it right here on TalkSport 2.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it 2?
TalkSport 2, because
full in the face. So I think the reaction for me was the fact that Smith Rowe, Everton forced Smith Rowe had Robinson on the overlap, and he cuts inside. He got a shot in, a hit Keane flush in the face.
Yeah.
But his hand was almost by his face, but it definitely hit him in the face. But what was remarkable about it was Keane just carried on playing. You know, if that was me, I'd been lying down for a fortnight. But well done, Keane. Another change, and it's Harry Wilson coming on and Pereira coming on.
Yeah. Had a decent game, Pereira, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it's Harrison Reed coming on.
Keep the steel plant open while pushing for net zero.
It's Reed goes back on net zero.
And from there on out, it's all about Sessegnon. Steps inside Joachim Andersen onto his left foot, keeps it low, bottom corner. And Bournemouth are off with a bang here. Brilliant start. Fulham already trying to make waves from the restart, and it's Robinson who's burst forward from left back, and that cross from the dead ball line just flies over the top of Kepa Arrizabalaga's crossbar. Brilliant stuff, this. Bournemouth showing their intent The form has dropped off at the worst possible time for Andoni Iraola. To mention, just before we got started, 6 Premier League games on the run with no win prior to tonight. They've got themselves off and running here. Could possibly be in for another goal-filled night between these two teams. The reverse fixture back in December ended in a 2-2 draw. But Bournemouth have won their last 2 home games here against Fulham. That's the first breakthrough in their direction. As Ryan Sessegnon tries to make ground down the Fulham right, but he's stopped in his tracks just in front of the Cherries penalty area, and Tyler Adams will go back to Kepa. Lofted up to the halfway line. Ivan Ilson there battling away with Joachim Andersen. Fulham here will be looking to just settle themselves and try and get a bit of a foothold in the game. There's a poor ball out for the edge of the penalty area by Bassi, cut out by Bournemouth. We'll go back here to Dean Howson, the edge of the centre circle for Bournemouth. A young man who's been attracting more than his share of transfer attention in recent weeks. Huge speculation that he could move on from Bournemouth this summer, despite only joining the club in July of 2024. Made his breakthrough into the Spanish national team in March as well, and the list of possible suitors includes Real Madrid, Chelsea, Liverpool. A young man in demand. Here's Lewis Cook on the halfway line for Bournemouth. Just checks back into the centre circle to Senesi. Preferred to Ilya Zabranie this evening, the experienced Argentinian alongside Howson. And if you are just a little late joining us here on Flash Score's Monday night Premier League game, missed a hell of an opening. Antoine Semenyo's 9th or 8th Premier League goal of the season, equalling his tally from the 23-24 campaign. Put Bournemouth in front inside the first 60 seconds. What do Fulham have in response? They've got space over on that far left-hand side to build. Here's Alex Iwobi. Will try and loft that one in near post. Cleared away by Howson. Semenyo loses that tussle with Sasa Lukic, but it's won back on the turnover by Bournemouth. Ivan Nielsen inside the centre circle. Will try and get runners outside of him. He's got Scott down the right-hand side. First-time ball just fizzed across the edge of the 6-yard box, and Bernd Leno will grab that one in. Bournemouth really on the front foot. Fulham have struggled on the road in recent weeks, back-to-back away losses. Slipped up at Arsenal and Brighton. The previous record away from Craven Cottage was pretty positive, 3 successive away wins, but similarly to Bournemouth at the crunch time of the season when they're pushing for Europe, their form has dropped off. Marco Silva already looking rather pensive on the sideline. He'll not be happy with the way his team has started. Not happy at all. Here is Kepa, the edge of his penalty area. Just sprays that one out onto the right-hand side for Howson. Adam Smith will take it over the halfway line for Bournemouth, the Cherries captain. And if you're looking for a bit of whimsical trivia this evening, Lewis Cook in the heart of the Bournemouth midfield. It's his 168th Premier League appearance for Bournemouth tonight, pulling level with his namesake Steve. So the two Cooks are now joint on 168 Premier League appearances. Adam Smith out in front with 229. Here's Ivan Nielsen building up towards the penalty area, but he's tracked. And the block comes in. It's a good piece of defending there from Joachim Andersen. Sasa Lukic will lend a hand. He just manages to hold off the pressure from Antoine Semenyo. Eventually wins a foul from the Ghanaian. A free kick to Fulham on the edge of their own penalty area as Lukic hops back up to his feet. Here's Bassi. Goes long this time, the Nigerian, just lofts that over the halfway line. Howson does well, just steps away from Rodrigo Muniz and knocks it down for Tyler Adams. He'll try and roll Alex Scott in that right channel, but Anthony Robinson will see it behind for a goal kick. The race for Europe is obviously a talking point for both sets of supporters here, but Bournemouth are chasing their best ever Premier League finish as well. Eddie Howe led them to 9th back in 2016-17. That is the benchmark for Andone Iraola to try and hit this season. Well, Fulham, of course, have played in European competition in the Premier League era, going back to the days of Roy Hodgson. They reached the 2010 UEFA Europa League final, Cottagers fans will remember, losing out to Atletico Madrid. Their best ever Premier League finish was 7th under Hodgson. So plenty of firsts that both managers are going for as the campaign moves into its final few weeks. Here is Fulham trying to build again toward the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area. Good pressure there from Senesi, who comes out snapping at Andres Pereira. Forced back to the centre circle now, but the Brazilian will try and just hang a ball in towards the penalty spot. Howson does well again, just a drop off Rodrigo Muniz, and Sessegnon can't quite barge his way beyond Milos Kerkez, and he'll eventually concede a foul against the Bournemouth left back. Sessegnon just a little handsy there as Kerkez looked to shepherd it behind for a goal kick, and he will possibly just have that left for a goal kick. Fulham slowly starting to feel their way into the game after the shock of falling behind so early on. Ten minutes on the clock here at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. Antoine Semenyo's super early goal, the difference. Not a great deal to write home about since then. Fulham in the live rankings are now trailing the Cherries, both on 48 points. Bournemouth with plus 12, Fulham with plus 4. Bournemouth try again here as Ivan Nilsson is sandwiched on the edge of the penalty area between Bassi and Joachim Andersen. That was a good bit of defending from the two Fulham centre-backs there, and Sessegnon's got space here down the right-hand side. Plenty of green grass to get into, and back Milos Kerkez into his own penalty area. Tries to go to the byline. Sessegnon manages to get it in, but Sessegnon will clear, or Senesi rather, will clear to the edge of the box, and Timothy Castagna barges into Dango Ouattara. Bournemouth will have a free kick. Better that from Ryan Sessegnon. With the two Bournemouth wide players pushed high up the field, Ouattara had to race back to help out as Kerkez got himself into a spot of bother there. Free kick to be taken by Kepa. He'll go long from the edge of Bournemouth's penalty area. Ouattara the target. He wins the tussle with Timothy Castagna, but rolls out of throw for a Fulham throw-in in their right-back position. Hurled into the middle of the pitch. That's a nice win from Tyler Adams. He's starting to bed himself into this Bournemouth team. His 5th Premier League start in their last 6 games. The United States international. It's been an injury-disrupted campaign for him. But in the absence of Christie, he's slotted in very, very nicely against alongside Lewis Cook. Here's Scott on the half-turn inside the centre circle. Just tried to free Ouattara, but good work from Sander Berg just to get back in and slam the door there for Fulham. Sasa Lukic. Anderson on the edge of the centre circle. Goes for the spread to the far left-hand side. Robinson's bomb forward from left-back for Fulham. Can he get a cross in from the dead ball line? Deflected. Behind off Smith. That'll be the first corner of the game in Fulham's favour. Andres Pereira to go over to take for the visitors as Bassi, Anderson Sander Berge all come forward for this. What can Pereira produce? Hangs it into the near post. That's headed away by Smith. Go back out for a throw-in to Fulham over on that far side, just level with the Bournemouth penalty area down the Cottagers' left. Robinson will take charge of this one. Calling for support here as Iwobi just dashes out. Fulham will try and fashion another cross into the box here. Iwobi just lofts it in towards the penalty spot, but Sessegnon guarded there by Kirkes. Can't get enough on it, and that'll be a goal kick to Bournemouth. Marco Silva certainly the more animated of the two managers in the opening 13-14 minutes. Not seen too much of Andoni Iraola. Here is Dango Ouattara. That's a lovely win on the halfway line and a brilliant spread winger to winger there as Sessegnon takes it in. He's got Scott backing him up just inside the Fulham half of the field, but Fulham have got numbers back here to try and ward against Sessegnon. Rolled back to Tyler Adams. Now Cook will try and get Bournemouth moving quickly down the left-hand side. Ouattara's got Kirkes beyond him. Just misjudged that ball, Milos Kirkes. It'll be a goal kick to Fulham. Good work from Sessegnon there just to get back and get his body in between man and ball. There's of course a busy week of action across the Champions League and the Europa League in the coming days. We will have live audio coverage of the two games tomorrow, both 8 p.m. starts. Aston Villa looking to turn things round against PSG. Borussia Dortmund at home to Barcelona. Hansi Flick's team 4-0 in front from the first leg. And then it's an 8 p.m. double on Wednesday. Inter Milan at home to Bayern Munich and Real Madrid hosting Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's side, of course, 3 goals in front from their superb first leg showing at the Emirates last week. We do also have a Premier League game slotted in on Wednesday evening as well. 7:30 start. Newcastle playing their rearranged fixture against Crystal Palace. As Fulham eventually just smuggle possession back to Bernd Leno. Bassi will clip that up to the halfway line. Good win there from Smith, who was just a bit sharper than Alex Iwobi. Bournemouth trying to build down the right-hand side. There's a good bit of defending there from Anthony Robinson. Just snapped into the challenge on Sessegnon. Bournemouth will win back possession though, and Senesi tries to poke that through the lines for Ouattara with the little dummy to try and get away from Castagna, but it's read. Dealt with by Fulham's right back. Fulham have improved, but they've not really been able to lay a glove on Bournemouth from an attacking perspective anyway. No attempts on target for Marco Silva's team, just the one for Bournemouth, the Sessegnon strike that ended up in the back of the net. Here is Ivan Nielsen, who's dropped really deep inside the centre circle. He's got a bit of space to pivot away from Anderson. Kirkes on the charge down the left-hand side, hangs it into the far post, knocked down off the crossbar from Ivan Nielsen. Big chance for number 2 for Bournemouth. Kirkes busting a gut down the left-hand side, just hangs that cross in, knocks down in favour of Ivan Nielsen. And he gets there before Leno, and he's denied by the crossbar. Just still wobbling here. Ivan Nielsen can't believe that as he shakes his head. Fulham will try and build as we move forward here. Bournemouth back in numbers though on their edge of their own penalty area. What an opportunity that was for Ivan Nielsen. And he is the man in form. 6 goals in his last 6 in all competitions. Scored against Fulham back in December as well. Inches away from hitting double Premier League goals in his first season. I'm sure he'll get another opportunity. That was a hell of a close one for Bournemouth's number 9. Dinked cross into the Fulham penalty area, knocked down by Sessegnon, rolled onto Iwobi on the edge of the penalty area. Really good bit of defending there from Tyler Adams. Just flung himself to ground to make sure Iwobi couldn't get the shot away, and Ouattara needs to be careful here, trying to play out from left back as Sessegnon puts him under a bit of pressure. Kerkez is forced backwards by Sessegnon. Really good work there from the Fulham number 30. Even Nielsen is still shaking his head from that opportunity. Great ball in from Kerkez. It's Alex Scott who wins the back post ball against Robinson, and even Nielsen's there before Anderson, before Leno, and it's just rocketed back off the crossbar. He's got a smile on his face, but he knows that was a hell of an opportunity. Incredible statistic that Bournemouth are the team to have hit the Premier League woodwork more than any other side this season. That's the 21st time either post or bar has been rattled by a Cherries player. Maybe think to yourself, if Iraola does miss out on European qualification, those fine margins. The wind is blowing in their direction here on the south coast this evening as Fulham try and haul themselves back into it. Here's Bassey inside the centre circle. Sprays it over to the far left-hand side. Anthony Robinson, midway inside the Bournemouth half of the field, just checks back into Bassey. Now Sander Berg tries to spin away, but he's blocked off by Cook and Outara. Rolled ball into the feet of Rodrigo Muniz there, who's brought down just left of centre, midway inside the Bournemouth half. Dean Howson has dashed out and bundled him to the floor there. He's got a bit too tight there, Bournemouth's number 2. Catches Rodrigo Muniz on the side of the ankle as well. Fulham will have an opportunity here to load one into the box. It's a bit of an awkward crossing angle with Andres Pereira. The option to take this, whip it in right-footed. Just hangs it in towards the penalty spot, and Anderson's there. Nodded straight into the gloves of Kepa. There's Fulham's first attempt on target. Anderson gets a good contact on this, but he's got Bournemouth players all around him. Senesi there, who took a whack across the top of the head as Rodrigo Muniz and Anderson went up for that one. You just need a moment here to get himself back to his feet. Michael Oliver just checking in on him here, as it was a head/facial injury, but he's okay. He's back on his feet now. Mentioned some of those injured players for Bournemouth. Justin Cliver in the stands watching on tonight. Iraola confirming that other than Erez Unal, he doesn't expect his current absentees to be out for too long. Sinisterra, Cliver, Christie would all be back in action before the end of April, and Bournemouth will need them if they're to push hard to the end of the campaign. Back underway here as Senesi thumps that one downfield, dealt with by Anderson on the edge of Fulham's penalty area, but the little tussle there is won by Outara against Sessegnon just inside Fulham's half of the field. Now Howson. Tyler Adams inside the centre circle, just squares that across to Smith at right back for Bournemouth. Semenyo is pushed back into his own half of the field there by Anthony Robinson, who's eager to chase him down, make up for that mistake for the goal. Marco Silva, even with just a quarter of the game gone here, sent out a clutch of his substitutes to warm up early. Raul Jimenez among them. Howson gets across there to concede a throw-in right on the edge of Bournemouth's penalty area, just down the Fulham right-hand side. Castagna will jog forward from right back to take this one. Backed up by Sander Berg. Pressing there from Bournemouth. Scott, Ivan Nielsen just forcing Castagna to go backwards, to go to Anderson. Get Fulham to start again, rebuild inside their own half of the field. Here's Leno, just rolls that to Bassi on the edge of the Cottagers box. Clipped up to the halfway line, but it's Smith who gets there before Alex Iwobi, and Sessegnon does well to keep it in play. Really solid look to this Bournemouth team, as well as the attacking prowess that they've got with Sessegnon and Autara, Kluivert, Sinistero when they're fit, Tavernier on the bench, but Cook, Christie, Adams, Smith, they'll do a really, really capable job for Iraola. Through the middle of the pitch, the spine of the team, so important to give the opportunity to those attacking players. Can't build a house without the foundations. Just to prove that point, Lewis Cook goes careering into the back of Sanderberg, and Senesi into Pereira. Be a free kick to Fulham, midway inside their own half of the field. We've seen plenty of Ryan Sessegnon so far for Fulham down this near right-hand side. Alex Iwobi's been quiet over on the far touchline. Bournemouth win themselves a free kick on the halfway line there, as Calvin Bassey just oversteps the mark as he tries to storm forward. Howson is just being told by Michael Oliver to make his mind up quickly. He flings that one forward towards Autara, but Castagna will get there first. Adams heads it forward inside the centre circle. Kerkez helps it on. He was caught there by Sessegnon. That'll be a free kick to Bournemouth. Things have turned a little scrappy in the last few minutes. Free kick after free kick, and a bit of a drop in rhythm. Kerkez will need a moment himself there. That was a bang in the face. Michael Oliver again. Just check on the Hungarian international. This will be a crossing position for Bournemouth. 5 yards into the Fulham half, just to the left of the centre circle. Howson, Senesi are forward. As Cook just floats that one in. Anderson wins the first ball, but at 40 yards of the box, and Scott's effort is deflected. Even Nielsen trying to keep it alive. The shot is blocked. It'll be behind for a corner. Bournemouth are saying that struck a hand there. Michael Oliver adamant that it was struck directly into the body of Timothy Castagna. I think that is the right call. He's turning away. He's got his arms tucked in. Hits him in the midriff and then just spins past the post. The second corner of the game. First one for Bournemouth. Be Alex Scott to go over and take left-footed for the home side. Howson and Senesi have both stayed forward for Bournemouth. Hangs it in right on top of the goalkeeper. Howson goes for it and it falls for Adams. And he took a swing there and it's blocked and over the bar. Another corner for Bournemouth. Wicked delivery that from Alex Scott. Howson gets up. I beg your pardon, it was Kerkez with that corner, and it's going to be Kerkez again to take this one. Howson trying to cause trouble for Andres Pereira. Again, dropped in on Bernd Leno. Really good defensive header there from Rodrigo Muniz. Lewis Cook just couldn't get a hold of that one as it fell to him on the way to the penalty area. He'll be behind for a goal kick. Two devilish deliveries there from Milos Kerkez. Just dropping it in right on top of Bernd Leno. Fulham survive that particular onslaught and try and get themselves back moving in a forward direction. Long ball there, helped on by Muniz, but Smith is back in position to hammer that away in front of Iwobi. Throw in quickly taken by Anthony Robinson. Back into the Fulham half now with Bassi. All the way back to Leno. Tries to roll that up to the halfway line, but Alex Iwobi's immediately surrounded by 3 black and red shirts and given possession away here, and Fulham try to build quickly there, but even Nielsen's just stopped in his tracks 25 yards from goal and rolls it to the left for Autara. Sessegnon on the cover will get there before the advanced run of Kirkes. It's a nice little back heel there from Pereira. Releases Sanderberg through the middle of the pitch, but he's got players either side of him. Tyler Adams has gone crashing into the Norwegian there. He's claiming he got the ball. Really good bit of link up there between Fulham's 2 midfielders. Pereira with the back heel. Sanderberg gets away and he gets up ahead of steam here. He's looking for passes either side of him. He doesn't really see Tyler Adams, who comes in and does catch him there, the US international. No lasting harm done to Sanderberg. Back on his feet. Here comes Sasa Lukic. He's got away from a couple of tackles on that far left-hand side. Steps in. Away from Lewis Cook. Tries to feed it into the penalty area, but it's helped away by Dango Ouattara. Trying to use his pace to get away from Castagna, but again, not for the first time. Castagna reads his intentions and Fulham win back possession. Rolled up to the edge of the penalty area. Sessegnon's gone down there. He's claiming he was caught on the turn by Marcos Senesi. Nothing doing, says Michael Oliver. Just steered into his feet by Sanderberg, and Senesi gets a little nibble on him, but he does get a bit of the ball. And from a unclear foul to a pretty clear one over on that far right-hand side. Frustration starting to build for both teams here as Scott gets away from Sasa Lukic and he's just chopped down there by the Serbian. Michael Oliver here will try and have a chat with a few players here, just try and calm things as we tick over the half an hour mark. No change in the scoreline though. No change in Marco Silva's facial expression either. Not a happy bunny. Knows his team losing the fight as well as the scoreline. And there's a mix up there at the back between Howson and Senesi. Fulham got a chance here. Rodrigo Muniz is away on the angle inside the box. He steered it beyond the post there. Fulham's number 9. That's their best opening of the game. It just comes from a miscommunication inside the centre circle between the experienced Senesi and the relatively inexperienced Howson. Both of them leaving a loose ball to each other, and Rodrigo Muniz makes the best of that there. He gets away. Not the easiest of angles to take the opportunity on as he races into the penalty area. Credit to Howson, who gets across to him just to make it a bit more difficult. Andres Pereira was charging into the penalty area, but I think Rodrigo Muniz had to take that chance. Just past the post. Here's Semenyo trying to get things moving for Bournemouth down the other end. Rolls it across the box to Autara, blocked and cleared away by Fulham. Good defending there from Castagna. Just sticks out a leg in front of Autara. We're starting to open up a little bit here as Pereira leads Fulham away down their right-hand side. He's got Senesi for company to the byline. Senesi will slip here and Pereira rolls that in. Sessegnon on the turn, block. Sessegnon will go again. Now Lukic. Scott with the block. It will just fling up in the air. Kepa has stayed back for now. Howson wins the first ball. Bournemouth are screaming for a foul there as Rodrigo Muniz fires one in on goal on the spin. Just penalty box pinball there for a moment. Howson wins the initial ball, but he doesn't get it far enough away. Lewis Cook goes down, appealing for a foul, and then when it doesn't come, Muniz gets a shot away straight at Kepa. No real concern for the Bournemouth goalkeeper. Here come Fulham again. Darting forward in waves now as Iwobi tries to just measure across in from the left-hand side, and it's blocked behind for a corner. Alex Scott on the retreat there. Bournemouth are doing the hard yards in defence as well. It's been a pretty rounded performance so far. Corner just angled in to the far post and headed down. Headed straight at Kepa by Rodrigo Muniz. That's 2 on target from him in the last couple of minutes. Herrera just swirls that one up in the air, and it's a bit of a mismatch at the back post. Cook against Muniz. But again, straight at Kepa. Fulham are starting to see a bit more of it now. Move into the final 10 minutes of the first half. The all-important figure, though, still stands at Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. Antoine Semenyo inside the first minute, his 8th Premier League goal of the season. His first Premier League goal since January, so it ends a barren run for him. He's matched his tally from last season. He would love to go one better this evening. Break new ground for him as a Premier League player, but plenty of time to go until then. Altaro with the spin gets the better of Timothy Castagna this time, but it's cleared away by his defensive colleague. Joachim Andersen did well there, but it's picked up again by Bournemouth inside the centre circle. Cook and Scott will try and release Smith over on that far side. Done well. Little nutmegs there to get away from 2 Fulham players. It was Sessegnon who'd sprinted across the field to try and put a tackle in. Smith will win the corner. Both teams pushing hard here. We might see ourselves a second goal before the break. Imagine we will see a couple of chances. Kirkes back on corner duty for Bournemouth. The big guns rolled forward again. Hjausen, Senesi, Ivan Nielsen all in there. Goes to the penalty spot this time, and Bassi heads it behind for another corner. He's immediately appealing to Michael Oliver that there was some penalty box antics going on from the Bournemouth players. Would be another corner. Be Lewis Scott to come over to this near side to take. Different approach this time from Bournemouth. He goes short to Scott. We'll go back to Cook. He'll swirl that one in. An awkward one there for Bernd Leno, but he's able to watch it over the crossbar. Goal kick to the visitors. There is, of course, a bit of Premier League positive news before we get ourselves kicked off this evening. In the former Bournemouth boss, who, as you mentioned, led them to the highest ever Premier League finish, Eddie Howe, is recovering in hospital after being diagnosed with pneumonia. He missed Newcastle's 4-1 home win over Manchester United yesterday. As Fulham come forward here, Ryan Sessegnon just ghosted away at the far post there. Lovely clip cross from Alex Iwobi. And he's not picked up there by Bournemouth, as Senesi, I don't think, sees him behind him. That's a big let-off for Bournemouth. And that's got to go down as Fulham's best chance so far. Ryan Sessegnon, not known for his heading ability. He's a man in form for Fulham. He's 3 Premier League goals this season have all come in his last 5 appearances prior to tonight, but wasn't able to get enough on that to direct it either side of Kepa. 38 minutes gone. That is Fulham's clearest opportunity to try and get themselves an equaliser. So just to go back to that story with Eddie Howe, he's recovering in hospital on Tyneside. No update from Newcastle as to when he'll be back on the touchline. Jason Tindall will continue as interim for the moment. Newcastle, of course, are home to Crystal Palace on Wednesday evening. Tindall will be the man on the sidelines for that one again. Chowson there has put his hands into the back of Rodrigo Muniz on the halfway line, and it's been a bit of an error-strewn few minutes for the Spain international. He's starting to let Rodrigo Muniz get on his nerves a little, I think. That was a foul that he didn't need to give away. Simple long ball played forward, and just puts his hands on the number 9 on the back of Rodrigo Muniz's shirt. Here is Anthony Robinson. Just rolls that back into his own half for Bassi. Bassi, though, shut down by Scott, and he has to go back to Bernd Leno. Ball up to the halfway line. Iwobi will battle with Adam Smith, and the Bournemouth right back wins the day, but it's a blocked clearance, and Chowson will have to go back to Kepa. There's Tyler Adams inside the centre circle. Lovely take and lovely ball just punched through the lines there. Sessegnon will try the quick switch. Castagna again, who's handled Dango Ouattara quite well, has just read his run there. Burkina Faso international sprightly trying to get him behind, but Castagna gets his positioning spot on to clear away for Fulham. To the final 5 minutes of the first half here. And a big night in the European race at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. As Kirkes goes to ground there against Ryan Sessegnon, and immediately runs over to the assistant referee, claiming that the Fulham player got the last touch, and he's got the decision in his favour there. Sessegnon just tried the twinkle toes to get away from him, but Kirkes sticks to his task, and the last touch does indeed come off Sessegnon's toe. Kepa will go long with this one. Ivan Nielsen wins that battle with Anderson. Quick turnover on the halfway line in Fulham's favour here as Andres Pereira is tangled in between Lewis Cook and Tyler Adams. Really good work there again from Adams. Just scrapping around the feet of Berger, Lukic, Pereira. Anytime they get over the halfway line, he's all over them. Might not offer what Ryan Christie does from an attacking sense. He's still without a goal in English football across his time here and at Leeds. But at the base of that midfield, gets through a lot of work, puts in plenty of challenges, and sets the platform for Iraola's front four. Marco Silva has stepped across for a word with the fourth official, Tim Robinson. He's happy with that throw-in going against his team. Ivan Nielsen can't quite get the better of Bassi, 20 yards from the Fulham goal. Bassi gets that decision in his favour. Free kick to Fulham. He wanted to play the advantage there as Bournemouth were caught a little out of shape. Michael Oliver will pull that one back. The final couple of minutes here before the half-time whistle. Pretty even since that roller coaster start in favour of Bournemouth. XG of 1.2 for Bournemouth, 1.1 for Fulham. 52-48 possession stats in favour of Fulham as Anthony Robinson gets away down the left again and wins another corner for the Cottagers. Pereira will jog over to take. Very little to pick between them. Just that one moment of brilliance from Sessegnon as the dividing line at the moment. Pereira, arm aloft, will swing this one in right-footed. Kepa stays again. Joachim Andersen brings it down. Bournemouth just seemed to stop there. I think they were waiting for a foul to be pulled up by Michael Oliver, and Sessegnon will recycle that back to Pereira. Fizzed in again, headed away initially by Howson, and Cook helps it on its way. Adams is blocked off by Iwobi. Good challenge there from Marcus Senesi, who came out strong on Joachim Andersen, and Andersen's gone down here and he's writhing in pain on the floor, and Michael Oliver's got a decision to make here. It's going to be a yellow card for Marcus Senesi. Just a bit of chaos there as the corner was cleared, and Senesi's gone charging out at left back. He's come over the top of the ball and he's caught Andersen. That is a sore one. The Fulham players are claiming that should be looked at a bit more seriously by Michael Oliver. Andersen has stayed down here. He's eventually back up to his feet. From my first viewing and the replay that we've just been shown here, yellow card probably is a fair decision. It's a lunging challenge from Senesi. Just get a chunk of the ball, but just clearly also catch Andersen on the middle of the shin. Nothing further from Michael Oliver. Andersen just pleading the final stages of his case here. Oliver explaining the ins and outs of the difference between a yellow and a red card. Fulham will have an opportunity here. Final seconds of the first 45 for Andres Pereira to loft this one in from the right-hand side. Flicked on. Headed away, though, by Altara. Alex Scott will take it down here in the left-back position. He's managed to find his way back up to Dango Altara. Needs support here. Bournemouth's number 11. He's got Ivan Nielsen through the middle, and he's eventually just about managed to jink away and keep possession. Good play there from the Bournemouth left winger. Plenty of numbers forward here now for Bournemouth. Worked over to the far right-hand side. Sessegnon, Cook wants to try and drive forward and get a ball in, and Cook will fizz that in, and it's just in front of Altara and Ivan Nielsen, both of them piling in. Kirkes will keep it alive and try and hang it back into the box. Headed away by Robinson. Picked up here by Tyler Adams. Will there be one more throw of the dice before the break? 2 minutes added on. Sessegnon back in position there, but it's not the best of clearances. Adams will pick this up dead centre, 25 yards from the Fulham goal. Senesi forward now, and he'll loft that one in. Cleared away by Lukic, but picked up again by Adams. Lewis Cook just opt for safety there. Back to Howson inside the centre circle. Bournemouth had the momentum there. Great ball across the face of goal by Cook. Ivan Nielsen diving in, and then Dango Altara, who created the opening really, just not able to stretch himself to get a touch. Here is Dean Howson. Nice turn there to dart over the halfway line. Kind of got in the way of Dango Altara there. It's Fulham, Bournemouth rather, who are ending the half strongly here. Have they got enough to create a little chance? Here is Tyler Adams. Adam Smith advanced down that right-hand side, midway into Fulham's half of the field. Scott will dart in off the touchline. He's got the runners in front of him, Sessegnon, but Scott's going alone. Saved and turned behind for a corner. He didn't have too much on here, Alex Scott, as he just zipped in off that touchline, gets to the edge of the penalty area, and a pass to Sessegnon falls back kindly to him as Fulham try and recover their position. And then he just tries to catch out Bernd Leno at the near post. It's a really, really good save from the German. Gets a big hand to turn it behind for a corner. This will be the last act of the half, as we go beyond the additional 2 minutes shown by Tim Robinson. Kirkes to take. It's a rather wild effort there, and Altara tries to make the best of it, but Sessegnon will clear away on the dead ball line. Tyler Adams, safety first, just humps that one back to Kepa, and that's it for the first half here at the Vitality Stadium. A blockbuster opening for Bournemouth, Antoine Semenyo breaking his Premier League duck of 3 months inside the opening 60 seconds. An uncharacteristic mistake from Anthony Robinson, fired home by the Ghanaian. Chances at either end since then. Kepa and Leno both called into action. But at the break here on Flash Score, it is Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. We'll be back with all the second half action in just over 15 minutes' time.
Talk Sport 2. The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it 2?
Talk Sport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit TalkSport.
Talked about earlier, so stand by for that.
Kevin O'Sullivan on Talk. It's the business.
Have you bought a vehicle on finance between 2008 and 2020? Then you could be owed thousands in compensation.
Games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. Talk Sport 2, because sport.
I think it was Jared Branthwaite in the chest, and it bounced off him. No, it was Jake O'Brien. It bounced off his chest, and it fell to an Arsenal player on the edge of the 6-yard box to half clear. But as I say, so I don't know where I got Scramash from. It's Ben White who's down. I think he's maybe broken a fingernail or something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but Arsenal have just got to waste all the time in the world. Not entirely sure what's wrong with him, but
I don't know what the referee was doing there. He's had a chat with O'Brien, who's about to take the throw in, and appears to have got his notebook out.
And he's booked him. So heaven knows why O'Brien's been booked there. We'll try and keep across that 1 foot. Heaven knows.
No idea what that's for.
Well, now, 1 or 2 Everton players. Decore's across to speak to Darren England, and he's just saying, well, what's all that about? Oh, now he's off for a chat with somebody else. So it's all about you, Mr. England, is it? All about you. Oh, he must be, Jake O'Brien must be talking about him. Is that Tarkowski's just, maybe he's just gone across to explain to the Everton skipper, who was just on the near post. Anyway, Jake O'Brien's now going to take the throw in. Can he get some purchase on this? Up goes Tarkowski's head. Doesn't quite get the flick on. It goes over him, and an Arsenal head gets it away as far as Branthwaite on halfway. Arsenal have an overlap here if they can get the ball away. Flicked on to Nwaneri by Trossard on the right-hand side. Midway inside the Everton half, down the right-hand side for Arsenal. Switches it into midfield. There is Marino. Or Jorginho, should I say, sorry.
Haven't mentioned him, have we?
Hardly, no. He just sort of plays that anchor role.
Yeah.
I would imagine he's on penalties if they get one today. He barely ever missed. He always had that funny little jumpy run, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jorginho addressed the ball, ran up and did a little hop before he hit it. Involved in that Italy side that won the Euros at Wembley on penalties. Arsenal just playing it around, back to David Raya. Applause for Idrissa Gana Gueye, and ooze because he nearly cut out that ball from David Raya forward. Nearly just got a foot in there, did Gueye, but it's Arsenal instead. Trossard and Sterling double teaming down the left-hand side. Don't foul him, say the crowd behind him, and they haven't done. Sterling's gone down all too easily, and Jack Harrison again doing a sterling job as an auxiliary right back there for Everton.
Yeah. Just trying to play a bit too intricately, wasn't he there, Raheem Sterling, and the ball was nicked away from him a couple of times actually. He did recover the ball, but then it was nicked away from him. Just confirmation that Jake O'Brien has got a yellow card. It's on the screen there, so
it definitely is. Yeah, I saw it on the replay, but I still can't work out why he booked him. We'll try and get across that very shortly. Just coming up to the 20-minute mark here on Radio Broad Green Sport. It remains Everton 0, Arsenal 0, and typically 12:30. Well, I didn't see what happened there because it happened right behind the post, but the crowd don't agree. around us that was a free kick for Arsenal around about 30 yards from goal.
No, thought it was a good tackle. We'll see it again on the monitor, but I think it's just a good, strong tackle.
Strange one.
Yeah.
But Idrissa Gana Gate, there we go. We're just having a look. Oh, Garner tried to get round his man and got a foot in. It was Trossard, and Trossard went to ground. And he had to go round the long way, Idrissa Gana Gate. And whether he gave it for the contact with the feet or the referee thinking he'd pulled him back ever so slightly and making the challenge, I don't know. But
looked good to me, to be perfectly honest. But the result is a free kick to Arsenal. Dangerous position. Everton holding the line on the edge of the box.
In comes the cross over the far post. It's over all the heads and out towards the Bullens Road side. But Arsenal managed to make something of this around the edge of the penalty area. But still a bit tippy-tappy on that far side. Everton trying to keep them at bay. I think that's Ben White with his orange boots dancing on the far side, and another overhit cross, and that's out for an Everton goal kick. Well, we'll get word from the studio, Rob, that the yellow card for Jake O'Brien was for a bad foul.
Oh, right, OK.
But nobody's any idea what that bad foul was. I didn't see one.
There wasn't a free kick awarded, was there?
No.
Very strange.
I'm just looking across at the TalkSport team here. A lot of people will hear Sam Matterface's commentary on TalkSport and on the television, but I'm pleased to say, like me, he's wearing his sunglasses.
Yeah.
Even though we're sitting in shade. Mine's purely by accident and not by designer. Ball comes forward and Beto knocks it on. Looked the way the other night. Beto has a real awareness of what's going on around him, and he seems to bring players in from quite distance with those long balls to him.
Yeah.
I just wish some of the Everton attacking midfielders were more alert to that, but you can see what Beto's trying to do, and he gave Dominic... James Tarkowski's flattened on the far side there, and it's a free kick for Everton in the left-back position.
Yeah, cheap free kick that. Trossard just wasn't looking at the ball.
Can't he?
Yeah.
He's got all the tricks as Trossard, and he's just kicked the ball past Jared Branthwaite, and Jared Branthwaite's making a big deal of this, as if to say to Darren England, well, why don't you book him for kicking the ball away and wasting time?
Yeah.
It's not in Arsenal's interest, because nothing but a win will do for Arsenal this afternoon as they trail Liverpool by 12 points. They've just got to win, haven't they?
Yes. Yeah, put some pressure on.
I think the crowd are getting fed up with Jordan Pickford's histrionics now, and he's taking all the time in the world. That free kick that I spoke about, what seems like an age ago, still hasn't been taken.
No.
And they're not really.
I mean, he's kicked the ball away, he's shown a bit of petulance. Just get on with it,
Absolutely. It is petty. Anyway, as the ball comes forward, and it's half not clear, there's a shirt pull there on Tim Irabunum, who's been pretty quiet so far in this game. Gets out to Jake O'Brien, Tarkowski, and that's a poor ball telegraphed to Garnagay, and it was picked off by Declan Rice. Here comes Trossard down the inside left channel. Across comes Jared Branthwaite. Great awareness, great cover from Jared Branthwaite, and concedes the throw in. We're quarter of the way through this game here at Goodison Park. It's Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Rob, Everton through to half time.
Yeah, probably the incident of the half there, wasn't it? Tremendous tackle, and Branthwaite just read that well, shepherded Trossard onto his left foot, and then came across with a crunching tackle. Here come Everton on the break now. Here's Idrissa Gueye. He's got Ndiaye making a run in front of him, but will he get on the end of that? Yes, he will. Ndiaye looks out to the left, and there's Idrissa Gueye again. He knocks it back to Ndiaye. Chance for a shot, blocked by the Arsenal defender. Decent effort. But here come Arsenal, but Decore steps in. Good pressure from Everton here. Harrison now on the right-hand side. Cuts onto his left. Crosses it over. Too much on that one. It goes out for an Arsenal free kick, even though Ndiaye was wanting something at the back post, but nothing doing.
The crowd were shouting for Ndiaye having been pulled down at that far post on the corner of the 6-yard box in front of that park end. He was never going to get on the end of that cross. But Everton almost seemed to come to life as you come onto commentary, Rob. But they just seem
absolutely.
They seem to wait for you.
I have this magic touch.
Yeah, they definitely did. They upped the tempo there, and the one bit about that early in that move was I liked Illiman and Ndiaye cutting in from the centre left, and it's a position that he's managed to find himself in space from before and scored at that end.
Yeah.
And he's just not got into that position yet. But maybe obviously finding the feet with this changed formation, or not changed formation, but changed lineup.
Yeah.
Got used to the changes.
Another poor ball by Everton in defence there. We're just seeing on the screen the referee's call of a yellow card to O'Brien was for his foul on Ben White. We did see Ben White, didn't we?
He threw White to the floor, apparently.
Yeah. But no free kick was given for that.
No free kick was given, and we're grateful to our colleague Andy Foy, who's listening in and watching, who isn't convinced that the referee saw it.
Yeah. Anyway, you
just wonder whether the likes of Stuart Atwell was in his ear.
Yes.
Saying, you missed that one, Daz.
Yeah.
You better give a yellow to the Everton number 15.
Yeah. Arsenal in possession. Trip there by Beto. So it'll be a free kick to Arsenal, halfway inside their own half. Fairly even game so far, Ian, isn't it?
It is indeed. Team game here on Radio Broad Green Sport as well. That's everybody contributing so far this afternoon.
Yeah.
Thanks to the lads for helping us out with what they're seeing on the TV feeds.
That blustery wind picks up again. A big long ball looking for Nwari, but too much on that one. Patterson will take the resulting throw-in.
It's just an announcement about persistent standing.
Yeah.
Won't be too bad getting banned from Goodison for good now, would it really? It's only 2 to go.
if ever there was a time, yeah.
Won't be a problem in that new south stand, will it? If you stand up there, you'll still be about 6 feet above the person in the row in front of you. It's that steep. It's a bit scary, that is. Imagine the James Tarkowski 98th minute equaliser and you're up at the middle of that lot.
Yeah. The blue wall, as it's going to be hopefully known. Good pressure by Idrissa Gueye on the ball, and again good pressure from Patterson, but throw into Arsenal. Just feels as though the game's fallen into a little bit of a lull at the moment. Neither team particularly taking control. Arsenal, as you said, Ian, probably with the lion's share of possession without really looking too dangerous. Cover occasions maybe. Taking the time with this throw in. Keywall will knock that back to Raya. Raya under no pressure. Just bowls that one out. And Arsenal can come again. Still bathed in sunshine out down there. It looks a
glorious Grand National Day, isn't it? It's an absolute classic day.
Yeah.
I mean, brilliant for the ladies yesterday on Ladies' Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Might as well talk about something else, because this has absolutely gone into
a
dirge, this game. So
nothing
now, hasn't it? It's terrible.
Yeah. Just knocking it around at the back, Arsenal.
Normally the blown Henson usually get a few beefy showers, but yesterday was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
A few red faces after yesterday, and I mean from the sunshine.
And again, a poor ball really by the Arsenal defence, straight out for an Everton throw, halfway inside their own half.
Oh.
Poor throw in by Ndiaye, rushes Patterson, and he just has to hoof that one.
You can tell he doesn't normally take them, can you?
Yeah.
He almost threw that behind his own head.
Yep. So here we are, approaching the half-hour mark, and still stalemate here. Arsenal will be desperately looking for the win.
Takes something to get a 12:30 crowd going, doesn't it? And this isn't that something.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Just threatened to flicker into life 5 minutes ago. But,
it's had its moments, but as I say, goalless so far. Long ball looking for the run there. Surely he was offside, but nothing given.
It's up now.
It's up now.
Actually quite confusing, because there's a lot of stewards on the far side there with exactly the same coloured coats on as the assistant. The assistant's got the plain luminous yellow flag on the far side, and there's a lot of stewards' coats that are a bit similar. So when he lifts his flag, it looks like it's one of the stewards at the back of the Bullens.
Yeah. It was Marino who made the made the run.
I think we all gave that one offside. It was pretty easy.
But obviously with this delay in the flag going up, you kind of start to question yourself, don't you, when you looked obviously offside.
Could have done with one on Wednesday night.
Yeah. Pickford launches that long, looking for Jake O'Brien. It comes infield for Decore.
Got to change that rule. Got to change that rule.
Yeah. Gueye out on the left-hand side to Patterson. He knocks that in to Ndiaye. Branthwaite now. And just in the Arsenal half, Arsenal sitting back, allowing it to come onto them, and
period. Just one change at the break as Bournemouth rotate in their back line. Marcos Senesi off and Ilya Zabrani on. Senesi, of course, who was booked just before the half-time break for a late challenge on Joachim Andersen. The call has been made by his manager to withdraw him for the second half. So the Bournemouth team in full: Kepa in goal, Adam Smith, Dean Howson, Zabrani, Milos Kerkez, Tyler Adams, Lewis Cook, the goal scorer Semenyo, Alex Scott, Dango Otara and Ivan Nielsen. Fulham, as you were: Bernd Leno in goal, Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Robinson in defence, Berger, Pereira and Lucas in midfield, and it's an unchanged front three of Sessegnon, Muniz and Alex Iwobi. So just the one goal so far. And Antoine Semenyo, as it stands, is taking Bournemouth back above Fulham. If the Cherries do secure victory here tonight, they will end the evening in 8th, above the Cottagers on goal difference. But the gap up to 7th position and Aston Villa remains at 6 points as we approach the final few weeks of the 2024-25 Premier League season. No immediate signs of any changes from Fulham despite trailing. Marco Silva has got plenty of attacking power on his substitutes bench if he chooses to use it. Raul Jimenez, Adama Traore, Willian, Emil Smith-Rowe, all options if he needs them. For the moment, he's happy to stick with what he's got. And here is Sessegnon pouring forward through the middle of the Bournemouth half. Rolls it to the left-hand side for Iwobi, who's got Robinson on the charge forward, and Alex Scott just gets back there on the penalty spot to clear away for Bournemouth. Semenyo will try and gain some ground for Bournemouth down this near right-hand side, but he eventually just runs the ball out of play. Robinson tracked him every step of the way there. Fulham quick to get things moving here in the first few minutes of the second half, but that's a bit of an overzealous pass forward from Lukic, and Robinson won't reach it. Throw into Bournemouth in their right back position for Adam Smith. Bournemouth, of course, as we mentioned in the first half, looking to end that sticky run of domestic form. No win in their previous 6 Premier League matches coming into this game. Knocked out of the FA Cup as well at the hands of Manchester City. Domestic matters is the primary concern, or league matters rather, both of these teams between now and the end of the campaign. 7 games each to go after this evening, or 6 games to go after this evening rather. Fulham are home to Chelsea this weekend. Bournemouth are on the road to Crystal Palace. Here is Joachim Andersen, just spins away inside the centre circle. Calvin Bassey, the passing option to his left-hand side. Andersen now midway through Bournemouth's half of the field, just right of centre, looking for an option as he rolls that to Castagna. Sessegnon will try and barge his way past Kerkez, but he's forced backwards. Now Castagna, little drop of the shoulder to get away from Altara, but he immediately runs into Lewis Cook. Now Iwobi steps past Adams, but he's shut down by Semenyo. Really good work from Bournemouth here, just to try and stem this early pressure from Fulham. Ivan Nielsen has dropped to the floor there. He's holding his shoulder here, the Bournemouth number 9. Cherries medics will come on here to take a look at him and take a little look there to see exactly what happened, and just looking some discomfort here, the Brazil striker. Fulham don't really have Bournemouth don't really have a like-for-like replacement if he's needed to come off. David Brooks and Marcus Tavernier options. Daniel Jebinson is a central attacker, but he's not the most experienced, the Canadian international, former Sheffield United player, and Ivan Nielsen looks as if he'll be okay. He was just ragged to the floor there by Calvin Bassey as they battled it out on the halfway line. As Premier League rules dictate, he'll have to go off to come back on again. seems okay, just gives the nod to his manager there as he just comes over for a moment. Tim Robinson is immediately in conversation with Andoni Iraola. Bournemouth down to 10 for the moment. Here's Sasa Lukic, just nods that forward for Anthony Robinson, but Adam Smith will head it back into the Fulham half, and Bassi goes back to Bernd Leno. Here is Joachim Andersen with plenty of space in front of him. Thought about the long ball forward, but Rodrigo Muniz was sandwiched immediately by Howson and Senesi. Eva Nielsen is back on. Bournemouth back up to 11. Sander Berg just caught in two minds there as he tried to roll that ball out to the right-hand side and only succeeds in playing it in between Sessegnon and Castagna. Just a fist bump there between Bassi and Eva Nielsen as he comes back on. What does Marco Silva have up his sleeve to get Fulham back into this game and avoid a third successive Premier League away defeat? Good ball forward there from Adam Smith. Just tried to release Sessegnon in that right channel, but a bit too much on it. And Leno will bowl it over his head to Anthony Robinson. Nice first take there from Sasa Lukic, but it's a bit too heavy. Zabrani will clip it back over the halfway line. Picked up again by Robinson. Not been flustered by that mistake for the Bournemouth goal, Anthony Robinson. He's incredibly highly rated operator, the United States international. He's an ever-present in Marco Silva's team this year. Just one of three players to start every game. Himself, Leno and Iwobi. 10 Premier League assists as well. Only Mohamed Salah has more to his name. There's a clutch of 5 players on 10, and Robinson is in good company. But it's his mistake that Sessegnon pounced on. And here is Sessegnon again, trying to back Robinson into his own penalty area, and Bassi will come out to lend a hand. Smith is forward now to help Sessegnon. Just rolls that to Tyler Adams, 25 yards from the Fulham goal, just right to centre, and Fulham get back in numbers there to frustrate. Sessegnon will roll that into Ivan Nielsen. Fulham are appealing for offside against him, and they get it. He just stepped the other side of Calvin Bassi as he waited for that pass to come. Bournemouth fans will just be pleased to see him back on the field after tangling with Bassi. Free kick to Fulham. Joachim Andersen flings that one long. Anthony Robinson will help it on into the path of Iwobi, but Adams is back there again, battling away for Bournemouth. Robinson will have the throw in for Fulham. Level with the edge of Bournemouth's penalty area. He's pushed well forward here from left back.
He comes on the inside, then goes on the outside. He's got support arriving.
Showing short. Iwobi as well, but he's
back Sessegnon. Then
just tossed that one back to Bassi.
Tyler Adams' path, and they just slow the attack here a little bit.
Everybody but Bernd Leno pushed up into the Bournemouth half of the field, but that's a poor ball from Andersen. It's seized on here by Milos Kerkez. He's got runners in front of him with Altara down the left-hand side. He wants to get one-on-one against Castagna. Rolled into Scott on the edge of the box, and Scott just drags that past the post. And he's gone to ground here now, Alex Scott. Never really got hold of that. Kerkez made the distraction run there, bombed past Altara to roll it into Scott. He's claiming he was caught by Joachim Andersen there as he came out to make the challenge. No foul, says the referee, and we are seeing a flurry of movement on that Fulham substitutes bench. Looks as if there's going to be multiple changes made by Marco Silva as we tick towards the hour mark. Here's Tyler Adams, shaped to shoot, and then thought better of it, tried to roll it into Ivan Nielsen. Altara on the angle from that left side of the box. Can he find it across? Turned towards goal by Adams, but it was blocked by Calvin Bassi on the 6-yard box. You mentioned that Tyler Adams has never scored in English football. He wasn't too far away there if he got a better connection on that one. Combination of Bassi and Leno that eventually smuggle it away for Fulham. 10 minutes gone in the second half here at the Vitality. No change in the score. Still Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. Here's Anthony Robinson. Forces Smith back into his own penalty area, but he runs out of room. Now with Iwobi, back with Robinson. Just try to poke that into Sasa Lukic inside the Bournemouth box, but it's well marshalled by Kepa. He will just take that under his control, and Tyler Adams is able to gather his thoughts here after he stormed backwards after nearly scoring. It does actually look on replay that it was just the outstretched leg of Bernd Leno that denied him that first ever goal in England. Calvin Bassey gets a little touch on it, but the decisive one is from Leno. No goal for Adams. Those changes are incoming for Fulham. Raul Jimenez, Tom Kearney and Adama Traore will be entering the fray momentarily. Joachim Andersen with that long lofted ball forward again. He's got Sessegnon in space to try and race away down the right hand side. Zabrani will go with him and just get himself in front of the ball. Really good defending there from the Ukrainian. Had his shorts almost pulled down by Sessegnon. I've got a feeling that might be Ryan Sessegnon's final act of the evening. Michael Oliver allows these substitutions to be taken before the hour mark. Tim Robinson just readying his board here. Sessegnon is the first player off. Adama Traore will go over to that far right-hand side for Fulham. Get confirmation on the other two changes as they happen. Traore for Sessegnon, like for like. What can he do for Fulham here? Sander Berg replaced by Tom Kearney, a similar type of player. Tom Kearney a bit more advanced in midfield than the Norway international, and then it's a straight swap up top. Rodrigo Muniz is off and Raul Jimenez is on. Sessegnon, Berger and Muniz off. Traore, Kearney and Jimenez on, and there's a bit of a mix-up with the paperwork here. Michael Oliver's had to go over to just double-check this with Tim Robinson. The fourth official has got his notes in a tangle here as he tries to get all three changes made at once. Marco Silva not happy with it. Bournemouth players are going to take full advantage of this to have a little water break and prepare themselves for the final half an hour. They've withstood that pressure from Fulham in the opening stages of the second half. There's going to be more now with these changes. Adama Traore will cause problems for Milos Kerkez. Raul Jimenez, despite the form of Rodrigo Muniz, is maybe a little bit surprised not to be starting this game. Those changes now all confirmed. Even a little apology from Tim Robinson to Marco Silva. So we are back to 11 v 11. Fulham's changes are on. We tick over the hour mark here at the Vitality. Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. Here was a nice first touch for Kearney and Jimenez as they link up inside the centre circle, and immediately Sasa Lukic tries to get Traore away down that right hand side, and Hjausen has to get over to cover Kerkez. Doesn't look to be a change in shape from Fulham from those changes, with Kearney slotting into midfield with Lukic and Pereira. Fulham got themselves a throw in here, pushed down that right hand side, midway in Bournemouth's half. Backwards again though as the red and black press descends on Fulham. Lukic chased down by Cook. Then Otara will go after Castagna, given away by Castagna, picked up by Kerkez. He tries to get forward from left back and he's caught by Traore. No foul, says the referee, play on. Tom Kearney tells Kerkez to get back to his feet. Here is the veteran Scottish international, just forced to go sideways as Tyler Adams closed him down on the centre circle. Iraola playing his cards close to his chest for the moment for his substitutions, and his team are doing a pretty good job so far. Good turnover of possession inside the centre circle. Alex Scott just dips away from Tom Cairney. Fulham have had the best, rather Bournemouth have had the best chance of the second half. That opportunity for Adams. Going to have themselves a free kick here as Anthony Robinson gets a card. His frustrations of the evening continue. Gets the wrong side of Alex Scott there. Down this near right-hand side, just over the halfway line. Pulls back Bournemouth's number 8. Not happy with himself one bit, Anthony Robinson. Doesn't let too much affect his game, but the odd moment of frustration. As Cook curls that one in low, headed on by Ivan Nielsen, headed wide by Ivan Nielsen. Cook goes for the near post run there. Help beyond the upright by Bournemouth's number 9. On the try and playing short from this goal kick, and Ivan Nielsen will pressure Anderson into that ball out. Jimenez has slipped as he tried to get in front of Zabrani, and Bournemouth will recycle this down the left-hand side. And they're claiming for a foul there as Altaro was caught by Jimenez. Play on, says Michael Oliver, and Kirkes will go to the byline here. Can he get a ball in? Can't, but he can get a corner. Castagna there, forced to sprint back on the cover. Zabrani, Hjausen. First opportunity really here to get forward and try and get their head on something. Hjausen was a threat in the first half from this type of situation, and he's a very tall young man. Corner comes in, headed away by Castagna. Just helped up towards the halfway line by Kearney, but Traore misreads that pass, but Bournemouth will come again. Smith just rolls that all the way back to Kepa to start again for Bournemouth. Goes long to Semenyo, who loses out to Bassi. Throw into Bournemouth. Cherries will be happy to just kind of break the game up a little bit here and deepen that sense of Fulham frustration. They've got the advantage. It's a very delicate lead to balance, though, just a single goal. Plenty of nerves here. Like Bournemouth do try and get themselves back on track in the Premier League. Here's Traore with space to try and get away down the right-hand side. Goes left-footed in towards the penalty spot. Jimenez will battle with Zabrani and lose out to Zabrani, but Kearney keeps it alive. Iwobi with the cross. That's another really important piece of defending from Ilya Zabrani. Dean Hjausen gets it away. Wise beyond his years, Dean Hjausen. 25 minutes left on the clock here. Bournemouth are going to make another change. Marcus Tavernier, back from injury, is given a warm reception from the home supporters. Alex Scott makes his way off over on the far side of the field. Tavernier is a bit of a goal threat for Bournemouth. He scored 2 goals in his last 6 appearances in all competitions before that injury, so second goal certainly on Andoni Iraola's mind to push into the closing stages. Tavernier will just go into that pocket of space in behind Ivan Nielsen, Adams and Cook. Holding roles for Bournemouth. Tom Kearney just drops over onto that right-hand side to link up with Traore. Traore is immediately doubled up on here as he tries to get away, and he does get away from Altara to the byline. Can he find the ball in? Hjausen stuck to Raul Jimenez on the edge of the 6-yard box there. Another really good bit of rugged defending from the Spaniard. Excellent body position in there. He knows that Jimenez wants to pin him, to try and overpower him, and he just stooped to get in front of him. It'll be a question on the minds of Bournemouth fans whether they can keep hold of him this summer. The transfer links are not going away. There's huge sums of money being talked about as well as Fulham try and break forward here. Alex Iwobi's done well just to trick away from Tyler Adams on the edge of the box, and he'll curl one. Big save from Kepa. And that's a big chance for Fulham. Their best of the second half. Fulham just caught out of shape there from a long ball forward. And Alex Iwobi, as Adams goes to ground, that's a rare slip from him tonight. Iwobi recovers quickest, gets the shot away, curl it into that top corner. Kepa gets over and two big hands, pushes it behind for a corner. Pereira will hang in, punched away by Kepa. Pereira will reload, flung back in towards the far post, and Kepa gets two gloves on it this time. Drops down just to release the pressure a touch. Marco Silva's going to go to his bench again. Before we head into the final 20 minutes, Emile Smith-Rowe is putting on the world's smallest shin pads. Once he gets them on, he will be on. Given away from the goal kick, and Iwobi again leads the charge through the middle. Jimenez on the angle. Just tried to steer it across on the left-hand side of the box there, the Mexican, but again, safe handling from Kepa. Another player whose Bournemouth future is somewhat uncertain. He will go back to Chelsea this summer, the loanee. Cherries are keen to keep him on a permanent deal, so that'll be discussions between Iraola and the Bournemouth ownership, you'd imagine, in the next few weeks. We've got a very important 20 minutes incoming. Defensive work there from Sessegnon, just gets back into his own half to help out, and he's caught by Kearney. That'll be a card for the Scotland international. Sensible play that from Sessegnon, just uses his pace to try and skip away from Fulham's number 10 and wins the foul inside the centre circle. Releases a bit of tension for Bournemouth as well, so they can try and rebuild. We are going to see Emile Smith-Rowe on, shin pads and all. Andres Pereira is the change for Marco Silva. He's got one more available to him between now and the end of the game. Willian, you'd imagine, is the option if he needs to go for broke. Castagnered as well to win that over at right back, but it's given away. Anderson trying to be too cute, playing out. Tavernier will chase him down. Cleared away eventually by Anderson. Smith-Rowe gets his first touch. Now Kearney driving through the middle of his own half. He's got runners down this near left touchline. Robinson wants it, takes over from Iwobi. Back with Kearney as Robinson strides forward. Smith-Rowe popping up in that number 10 role, takes over. Kearney again. Thought about just dropping a little cross in from the inside left position, but instead he'll roll it for Lukic, and Lukic will go for goal. Straight at Kepa. Fulham are starting to turn up the heat here. We've got Bournemouth pinned back as they push for an equaliser. Another effort that's far too close to Kepa from a Fulham perspective, but they're probing, pushing, starting to ask more forward questions of Bournemouth than we've seen for most of the game. Without that second goal, Bournemouth are far from home and dry here. Go into the final 20 minutes. Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. Antoine Semenyo's goal way back in the first minute. Do get the sense there will be one more goal. Which direction will it go in? Throw in quickly taken down this near left-hand side. Iwobi to Robinson, who's push forward over the halfway line from left back to Iwobi. Lovely little chip over the top. Robinson will go into the box, but he's tracked by Adams. Roll back to Kearney. Can he find a cross? Just shepherded infield by Sessegnon. Now here is Iwobi again. Wants to get at Smith back into his own penalty area. He does just that, but the ball into Jimenez is cleared away by Bournemouth. Here's Altara. Immediately got Fulham players swarming around him. He was appealing for a free kick, doesn't get it, and even Nielsen shoots back over the halfway line to help him out, but it's Fulham that win back possession. All heading in one direction here, and that's Fulham driving for a goal. Bournemouth just need to keep their heads, keep their shape. In a really disciplined tactical performance from the home team so far. Need to hold strong if they want to get themselves back to winning ways in the Premier League. Here is Smith Rowe. Untidy pass backwards, but Castagna will pick it up inside the centre circle and try and get Fulham moving again. Traore is bundled backwards. That's no easy feat. Still manages to keep possession here, the Spaniard. Space to dart into through the middle. Now Robinson on the edge of the box. Can he find a ball in? He does. Cleared away by Hjausen. The offside flag flashes up on that far side. Again, another chance for Bournemouth to get their breath back. Hjausen again, right place, right time. Traore's covered a lot of ground there. Lovely ball through the lines there to release Robinson, and he just fizzes it across the 6-yard box, but Bournemouth's number 2 in position to clear away. Fulham are turning the screw, but Bournemouth with Semenyo, Altara, even Nielsen have got that pace on the break. Kepa down on his haunches here. He needs some treatment. A bit of magic spray on the ankle, the Spanish goalkeeper. Back on his feet now. Seemed to land a little bit awkwardly after that strike on goal from Sasa Lukic a few moments ago. That is not a player that Andoni Iraola will want to see limping. The unproven Will Dennis on the bench this evening as his replacement option, but he's happy to carry on. Long goal kick from him just bounces all the way through to Bernd Leno. Bassi will fling that one forward. Good win from Zabrani inside the centre circle, but it's immediately picked up by Smith Rowe. Now Robinson will get forward. Got runners in front of him in the shape of Iwobi. Kearney will curl that one into the far post. That's a really big bit of defending from Milos Kerkez. He had the alarm in sight of Adama Traore piling in behind him, but he gets just enough on that to see it behind, and eventually the flag goes up for a foul. Dealt with that situation very, very well, Milos Kerkez. Many left backs that would appreciate the sight of Adama Traore trying to out-jump them. He deals with it. We are into the final 15 minutes here at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. Plenty of chances for the Cottagers in this second period, but as yet unable to find a way beyond Kepa. These two teams lead the table for goals scored after the 75-minute mark. Bournemouth top with 18, Fulham second with 16, so don't stop listening just yet. And this will fall on the edge of the box for Kearney. Just couldn't quite get enough oomph behind that one again. Too trouble, Kepa. Bournemouth are starting to look a little bit stretched in defence here. Hjausen and Zabrani both looking at each other there as Kearney got his shot away. Depending on Iraola's thinking here as we move forward, the temptation to shut up shop might be a bit stronger. James Hill come on to add something to the defence. David Brooks in midfield as well is another option. Got themselves a throw-in over on that far left-hand side in the left-back